Hey, what's up everybody? It's DJ Alex Brown, and in today's video I'm very excited to do a quick look and review today of the QSC KC12 or KColumn 12 compact line array or tower array speaker system from QSC Audio. Now, the reason I don't have that set up yet is because I want to show you how it gets set up because it's very quick and easy. But I also want to show you the cases that these came in. So full disclosure, these are demo units that were sent to me by QSC. I am going to be purchasing at some point in the near future a white set of KC12 speakers. I did do a first look video at these speakers during the DJ Expo 2025. So if you want to check that out, I will leave a card over here to check that out. Without further ado, let's take these speakers out of the cases. Now, I do want to show off the cases that these come in. This is the sub. So I don't know if you can quite see it, but this is a big SKB case. So this is the way that QSC ships their demo units. I don't know if you can see, but there's a FedEx label on here. So it was 4 individual cases. However, these are not necessarily a custom case. SKB does make these cases. I've been getting a ton of questions on my Instagram from the Instagram story that I showed these in. They have a custom foam insert that I'll show you. So if you want to check these out, I will leave a link or something. I'll show you on the screen. It's just a custom case from SKB for the KC12. And here is the top array speaker portion. So let's get this set up quick and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so here's the sub. It's not very heavy. It's probably about the weight of a K12. It looks quite a bit like a K12. Let's get this set over here. And right down in here, there's just a little connector that the speaker is just going to slip right into. You have your typical blue locking QSC power cord. For the sub, only the sub takes power. It transmits the signal and power up the column to the top speaker. By the way, QSC does sell a cover for the sub, and these poles come with a protective bag for them. In. Also, by the way, if you're wondering where we are, this is my new office space for my company. It's Lit Weddings and Events. So what you see behind me is our racking. We have dispatch boxes on the floor. We're trying this out for a couple months, so I figured it'd be cool to shoot a video here and show you guys the office space. So let me know if you like my backdrop here. But anyway, as you can see, very quick setup. This took me 2 minutes to set up, just plug. 1 wire into the back, so for a speaker sub system, super quick and easy, very light for that type of system. And it looks super great. It looks basically like a K12 on the bottom. And the top has, I think it has a good look to it. I mean, I saw the EV 70s and 90s arrays at the DJ Expo, and they were so ugly. I could not believe it. There's also quite a bit of sound engineering packed into this that I want to talk about in this video. But just talking about aesthetics, one of the biggest things is that while this is a black unit, they do also sell a white unit, which is going to be huge for the wedding DJs. The main purpose of tower arrays like this, there's really 2 main purposes. It's going to be ease of setup with a full range package from sub all the way up into your mids and highs, and also the aesthetics, that it looks very clean, it looks very nice, very slim, and a lot of wedding DJs are going to be looking for something like this. And it does look just as clean from the back, so if you have any concern regarding people being behind your setup at all, I've seen these used in stadium type environments where people can kind of walk around behind your setup. It's going to be very clean because there's no wires coming out back here. There's no wires going down this pole. Of course, I would always use a gravity clip or, with my tops and subs on sub poles, I would always use a gravity clip or gaff tape to tape it back so it looked neat. But you don't have to worry about any wires here. Super, super quick on the setup because you're not worrying about any of those wires coming down. No power running up, no pole, none of that stuff. It's just quick, bing, bang, boom. And then down here on the sub, I'll zoom into this so that you can see this, but this is where basically your very quick K12-esque amp it is here, and you have a bunch of inputs. We'll take a look at this later, but all of your wires and unsightly things are down here so that it's all kept very low, and that way you're not gonna see too much of that. And like I said, this is very focused on aesthetics. However, QSC did put quite a bit of sound engineering into these speakers, which I really want to talk about in this video. Okay, so the elephant in the room here is that this is not a line array. A line array is an array of speakers that goes in a line like this. QSC does sell line arrays. They have compact line arrays, the L series or L class line array speakers. They also still sell the KLA series line array speakers, very compact on those ones. But this is actually not a line array, and no tower array or compact array that looks like this is really truly a line array. Argue with me all you want in the comments. It's not truly a line array. Now, what I do like about this system is that it does go nice and high above people's heads. So you are getting that far dispersion. I've seen other competitors' systems that the height of the speaker up here actually starts down here. You all know the one I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say the name. And it goes up to like here, and I'm like, who is that giving sound to down there? Children? Like, will not replace a line array. These are designed to replace a top speaker and sub configuration. You can, however, use these in sub-only mode. So if you need a little extra kick and you want to put two of these subs next to each other and use only one column, you can absolutely do that. You should not, however, for acoustical sound engineering purposes, put two columns next to each other. Use the sub-only mode, put just a sub next to it. There's also an assignable sub output that you can put a KS118, like I have right behind me under the shelf there, next to this, and there are preset settings for a KS118. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about some of the technology within the speaker and how it sounds so good. So this is actually a true three-way system, and I didn't learn this until I spoke with QSC at the DJ Expo. So they actually have a cutout of one of these top cabinets, and there's a couple of high-frequency drivers in here that are actually really mid-range drivers. And they are, I think, 2 or 3 inches big. So this is your mid-range, and then there's a waveguide that is modeled after the waveguide in the L-class line array system, which is up here with a single high-frequency driver that's putting out your high frequencies. And then, of course, you have your sub down on the bottom here. So you have a true three-way system with great sound across all those ranges, compared with, I guess, technically a speaker sub combo is also technically a three-way sound system, but obviously this looks a lot nicer. Like we spoke about, the aesthetics are very important here. And the last thing to talk about would be this display on the back of the sub here, which we'll talk about right now. Okay, so let's have a look at this display in the back panel while there's a lot loaded into this. So this amp module is essentially the best of between a sub amp module and a top amp module. So you have 2 ins, 2 outs. So you can run a stereo signal through this. Now additionally, we have that assignable output that we talked about here. So this output is where you can change that through this display. I'll show you that in just a moment. Both these are combo inputs, so you can plug in either an XLR or a 1/4 inch. Additionally, you have a USB-C port here, which is an output, so you can charge a device if you need to. Say you plug a phone in here or something, laptop, you can charge your device straight out of the speaker, which is super cool. Now I'm also curious if you can pass updates to the speaker on this. On the K12.2s, there's a little USB port under the knob here, which I just checked. There is not one there. There's a couple pins, but not a port to update. So I'm curious if you can pass updates. That would be really cool to see what QSC could do for updates. I don't know if there's anything they can do, but that would be a really cool feature. Of course, you have your fan, your power input, your power on off. I'm sure everybody would like to see this battery powered, but it would suck a lot of battery because there's a sub in here. So while I'd love to see everything battery powered, I also don't love battery powered stuff, so I'm not crying over it. 3 inputs in addition to the Bluetooth. So you can attach your phone, laptop, any Bluetooth device to this. You can also plug an aux cord in. You have your typical QSC display here. Again, we'll talk about that in a moment. I do want to point out, however, that we have on the inputs 3 lights per input. So you have signal clip, mic, and high Z. Then same thing here, signal clip, mic, and 48 volts. And then signal clip and your Bluetooth indicator. Then limiter, power, and standby. So here, you can individually control the settings on this mixer for each of these inputs. So you can assign that this one is the high Z input, this one is the phantom power input, and use this as basically a built-in mixer, which you didn't have the same level of functionality on, say, a K12.2. Again, I'd love to see them strap a QSC touch mix on the back of this thing. I might do it sometime as a meme video, but I'd love to have like an app control or something. Really not because I want app control, but because I want a parametric EQ so that I don't need to lug a separate mixer out for a ceremony. And then finally, we're just going to take a look at this display. So first of all, you have your selectable outputs. So you can go A, line, or we can change it to mic, which is going to add, I believe, 10 or 12 decibels of gain, or high Z. I'll leave it on line. This is very well designed for a musician. Now we're going to go over to B, and then we can go mic, or mic plus 48 volts. That 48 volts would be phantom power for things like condenser mics. So again, for a musician, this is super helpful. Then we also have your settings. So a lot of inputs here for options for presets. We can do a high pass filter on, again, just this channel. Band mic, drum. I'm sure the manual has all of these tables of what it's actually doing built in. And then same thing on B, same set there. Then you have the overall speaker controls. So you have your reverb, which you can add, which is pretty crazy. Your sublevel. Now you can do balanced, which would be like normal. You can turn it down to -5 dB, or you can go boost or deep mode. Deep is a QSC trademark. Then you have your contours. So this would be your overall preset sound setting for the entire speaker. So if we wanted dance mode, we could turn that on, live, or cinema. Cinema is a very cool one to see, so you could use this pretty much plug and play for an outdoor movie. And then you have your EQ settings. So this is where you do actually have a parametric EQ built in. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to use because you're doing it all manually on the screen. This is also built into the K12.2s. However, you can set this to EQ in as well, which is a very cool feature. That's more for the sound people out there, but very cool to see that. And then as you continue to go down, you have your delay up to, let's see, well, it goes to at least 100 milliseconds, so that's pretty dang cool. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about this system, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will be buying one of these systems, and for my company, there's a number of additional benefits I just want to shout out quickly. I have a couple of female DJs on my team. I also have one of my DJs has some back problems. And this is not going to break anyone's back lifting this up onto a pole. Any of my DJs can put this up here and set it up. You also have the option to stick this pole directly into the sub here if you need it a little bit lower. If you are on, say, up on a stage and you need to get the height right, you can stick that right in there. Does it look a little bit funky? Yes, but you're getting the right acoustics, and that's what's most important for most people at the end of the day. This is a really great option for companies, especially companies who already have QSC speakers in their lineup like I do. And I have K12s, I have KS118s, and now going to be getting KColumns as well. And matching all of the QSC speakers together, and one of the reasons that QSC is so ubiquitous in our industry is because all of their speakers are phase aligned. So when you're using them all together, they're all going to sound great together. So this is a really great product to see from QSC. I'm really excited to see this, and these have been so popular already, and I hope that you will be considering looking at these as well. You can find these at any local QSC dealer. You can go try them out at a Guitar Center if you want. And the retail price on these, I'll put the exact price. So I was way off on the price when I recorded this. Oops. With a sub and speaker setup, the K12s are about $1,000 each, and the KS118s are about $2,000 each. So the system under the rack behind me is about a $6,000 system, all in on this system. A set of these is going to run you around $4,600. That's if you get them at full price. Obviously, this is not going to be able to hit some of the low notes the same way that that system is. It's definitely an apples to oranges comparison. This is somewhere in between that and just using K12s for your main speakers. And then, of course, if you need to do delay speakers, side fills, which you probably don't really need with these, but if you had to, you can run those out of here. You can run some K12s on the side, some K8s, some CP8s, whatever you want to do for that. So that wraps this video up. What would I rate this? This is a 5 out of 5 product all the way. The amount of technology they've packed into this, especially with the assignable outputs, individual mixer built into this. The only thing I think they could improve is if they would stick a QSC Touch Mix mixer into the back of this. I would love it. I would be having a day. I did suggest that to QSC at the DJ Expo, so who knows, maybe in a couple of years we'll have a app controllable QSC speaker. I'd love to see a K12.3 that has a built-in touch mix mixer built into it somehow that you can control from an app on your phone or something. I just really want a parametric EQ for my ceremonies. That's all I need. But a lot of progress here. So if you want to check this out, I'll leave some links in the description. And please leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more like this. And remember, there'll be some links popping up at the end of the video. Check those videos out as well. I'll make sure that the DJ Expo first look of these, some other DJ Expo content gets in there as well.